Hello, gentle viewers. This is App Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Charlotte Silverwolves. Our last season ended in disappointment, um, getting bounced out without winning a single wildcard game is pretty embarrassing. Um, but taking stock of our entire situation, we've got two world championships, and this is a bit of a down year for us. So this is going to be an important season in which we try to rebuild a little bit to be in a better position going forward. First of all, we need to get a new scouting director. When did that happen? Did my scouting director retire? He may have done. You sure did. Okay. I want to get an amazing scouting director, and I will pay almost any price for that. So let's begin with that. I can't hire my hitting coach because Mike Sorbali is like, no, fuck you. I want that job. Oh, now I can't hire his pitching coaches either, which is troubling. Let's do scout ratings. I really just want the best scout possible. I don't really care about anything else. But I also don't want to completely disrupt our chemistry. Um, Temperamental or easygoing are both fine. Um, it's hard to argue with Chris Moreno and just going blue across the board. What is your personality, dear sir? Personality. Yeah. Um so under tendencies, yes, personality. Ah, you're temperamental, that's fine. My bigger concern is the fact he's already had 25 years in the game, which means I will probably won't be able to keep him for very long either. But I think it also means he'll hit the ground running. And he's only 59, so we might be able to hold on to him for 3 or 4 years. I think he's the best choice. Done. I will happily make that offer for you to go ahead and join us. Um, Now the biggest question mark is going to be shortstop this year because we're going to say goodbye to Andy Giacoletto, and I think that is probably one of the most important decisions the Silverwolves will ever make is what to do about him. Because let's be completely realistic here, I'm not keeping him. If he wants to sign my qualifying offer, fantastic. I'll happily keep him around for a year at 18 million. But and somebody brought up a fantastic point, so thank you very much, Shabu's Ironhead 34 again, for saying he reminds me a lot of Nomar Garcia Parra. So remember, let's keep this in mind. 48, right? 48. Garcia Parra's career WAR is 41. Um, but like at his peak, Nomar was genuinely an excellent player. But because of injuries and just general lack of production, he really started to slip. Whereas Jacques hasn't crashed yet, but that crash is coming, and it's coming fairly soon. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to say he just can't stay healthy. And that is a serious issue in the game of Major League Baseball. Alfredo Piedro have a minor league contract extension. Jake Burcroft, you can have one too, and things of that nature. One of the things I did notice is there was an update to OOTP, and I checked out the changelog. Apparently, it's going to be easier for players to get to at least their median levels, which I think was a big issue for people in the past. So that is a thing to consider. I'm not going to do any of the arbitration stuff yet. I want to wait until we get our new scouting director, and then we'll make our decisions. Let's go ahead and advance time a little bit. Get ourselves a shiny new scouting director, somebody that I can trust. We're bringing in Chuck Bechtel. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also can't do anything about it, so... Mm. Alright, amazing. Let's go ahead and simulate up to Gold Glove just to let my new scouting director get some time. And then we'll go from there. I've got to give him a better budget. But the problem is, we're going to do a patch job to quickly get this team back to where it needs to be. I'm going to increase my ticket prices a little bit. I think a 10% ticket price increase is reasonable, given this team's track record of success. I think that's reasonable. Raisonnable. This is just me letting him build some knowledge about our team, and then we're gonna do some decision making here. Wow, that was fast. Okay. Let us now simulate one additional day. Just one. I didn't get a single gold glove this year. Disappointing. Not surprising, but disappointing. On what planet is this interesting? This is boring. This is not remotely interesting. I don't think so. You and I have very different definitions of the word interesting, Chris Moreno. Very different. Let's do some arbitration talks. Let me first. Good, we've got our dude up. All right. Josh Batty is fun. He's coming off the best season of his career, and he wants a pretty substantial raise. I have concerns about him, specifically how often he gives up home runs. And he doesn't throw particularly hard either, which means his long-term prospects aren't the best. But he's in good enough for us and durable enough that I'm willing to give him a year to figure it out. This, I think, I'm not giving you a long-term contract, don't be stupid, but I will give you a short-term one. All right, Jake Ramos couldn't even stick in the major leagues this year. And I just don't think he's worth keeping, so I will just non-tender him and not even think about it. Projecting Ethan Varner as a starter is incredibly bold. And to be frank, I don't know how I feel about it. He was supposed to be a starter when I drafted him. But he's gone from being a mid-tier reliever to being a successful starter. I have concerns. They're not big enough to not give him another year to figure it out, because I think he does have enough upside that he's going to be an interesting decision no matter what happens. But he certainly is not a guarantee. He just walks too many guys. I know the fans like him. I'm not saying that I dislike him, but he just walks way too many guys. Yeah, I'm gonna try to flip him real fast to try to get a little bit of a return on my investment, but I am not keeping him. Nobody wants him, probably rightfully so. I'm gonna go ahead and just non-tender him. He's just not worth the money, and I know that he's a fan favorite. It's gonna make the fans sad to lose him, but he should try playing better. Julio Mora, on the other hand, is a good enough pitcher with enough of a track record that I'm willing to give him his extra year to figure his shit out. Don't worry, guys. I've not forgotten about who's going to go through which. No, you're not making 2.5 million. Don't be fucking stupid, man. I'll take your 2.2 and like it. Accepting anything out of Chris Perry at this point is pretty silly. I might come back to him in a moment. Before doing anything else, I will go ahead and pop into here and let's get our player development set up. In the development lab. Casey Choate, oh my fucking lord, work on your control. Please. I need you to be successful. I need you to be successful sooner rather than later. Work on secondary pitches. Let's look at our prospects. Keep working on plate discipline. Keep working on control. This is not a shock to anybody. Kevin Romich, I'd actually like you to work on your plate discipline. Mike Bennett, work on your plate discipline even harder. And there we go. Next up, we have. Oh, that's this stuff here. Okay. I have a bunch of middle infielders with various degrees of skill, so I'm not. It's going to be interesting to see who actually gets to make the team as a starting shortstop. Because it's probably not going to be Prince Trotman. Now, when I have Ernesto Rosales in the minor leagues, that's at least as good as he is. So we will definitely consider that and figure out the best play going forward. Did I just sign Rivera to like this giant new contract? No, he's not ARB eligible yet, thankfully. Okay. What if I offered you $4 million, but I offered you if you give me at least 70 innings, I'll give you another $1 million. I don't think it's worth it. I think his injury history, the fact that he's wrecked already, means I have to trade him and try to get something for him while I still can. I mean, let's be realistic. He's an 8th round draft pick who's had a fairly decent major league career, better than a lot of people drafted ahead of him, one would imagine. I'm just not going to be the guy to let him rehab and hope that he figures it out. I will look at all plays because I'm more motivated to move Perry, and I think we'll get a better return for him. Really? Nobody wants Chris Perry, not even a little bit. Are you somehow a 10-5 guy? Shit, you are 10-5. How the fuck did that happen? Oh, I guess he's not a 10-5 guy yet. No, he is, isn't he? Hmm. I mean, nobody wants him, so I guess it doesn't really matter what he is. I just like $5 million is way too much money to offer a guy who hasn't done anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and non-tender him too. Kurt Matthews has been constantly given thankless times and actually done quite well with them. I think a reasonable raise for Kurt Matthews makes perfect sense to me. There we go. Prince Trauman is pretty solid actually, and I think he's got a lot of upside. So I think keeping him makes a little bit of sense. I don't know what to do with Mike Bush. I don't have an organization chock full of center fielders to just ignore him. But I wish I could get one center fielder that was consistent from year to year. I just wish I had one. But I'll happily give him a fairly minor raise. Colt Long, you've had enough chances to show that you are going to have a good major career. You just haven't done it. And I kind of want to give somebody a new chance at it. So what if I trade you for a prospect of some flavor? I don't think I'm going to get an offer though. Yeah, nobody wants these guys. I think he's had too many at bats that he's done nothing with, and if he's never going to hit, his defense isn't good enough. Now look, I'll give him by OPS plus. He's been league average or slightly above. There's nothing wrong with that, but I would like more from my players. And I especially want to create a job opening for where's he at? I mean Joey Newton for one. I mean Joey Newton looks like he might have a chance to be best. That's what I was thinking of. Don't I have like a top tier center fielder that's waiting for a spot, or am I making that up? Maybe I was making it up. Either way, I think I can do without him. So I'm gonna go ahead and non-tender Colt Long. Kellen Bulkley actually had kind of an off season. I'm not gonna give him a long-term deal, but I will give him a 1-year deal, and I think that's reasonable. I think he's still one of the best outfielders on my team. I'm just not going to be the guy to walk out there and offer him a long-term deal just yet. There we go. So that's 4 non-tenders. None of them I was able to trade. Did I try to trade Colt Long? I feel like I did and nobody wanted him. Maybe I should try. Maybe someone's like, oh my god, Colt Long. He's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, nobody wants him. That's fair. Oh, we're just going to wait some time at this point, and we're going to see what happens with Giacoletto. Because that's going to hugely impact what I decide to do with the rest of my offseason. Oh, we got Rookie of the Year again for Rodolfo Guerrero. Oh, that's for fucking Cleveland. Mm, that's the hate that keeps on hating. I tell you what. Zapata got another Silver Slugger though. That's fun. I really need Zapata to bounce back. I think that's really important. Yeah, people are signing new deals. I have no chance at an MVP this year. Fans are happy about keeping Trotman. We're hiring a new hitting coach for some reason. Another MVP for Escalante. I can't even be mad though. Like I wasn't even close to it, so I don't really care. Okay, Danny Taylor is actually interesting. So good job on that. I still don't think he's good, but all costs is a minor league contract, so I am more than willing to give him that offer. This is going to be fascinating because there's a non-zero chance that Jacques Loto actually signs the qualifying offer and we just keep him for another year, which I am fine with. But I think it's yeah, he declined it. He wants that. He wants his bag. Interesting. Jacques Loto's contract demands are not that unreasonable. I just feel like this is. I'll tell you what I'm going to offer you, Jacques Loto, because I do think you have something left to offer. I do think, despite your injury history, that there is a chance that you could turn this around. I'm going to offer you a 3-year deal with 2 team options and see if you take that. I think that's what I have to do to protect this team. A $22 million salary for you for 1 year is very worth it to me, and it's worth the risk. More than that is not. But I would like to keep you around, if for no other reason than to see if you are able to bounce back at all. But even if you're not, that's not that big a risk. Plus, it also gives me more of a chance to develop some other middle infielders. So I think that's a smart decision if he's willing to come back for that, for a pay cut like that. All right. What else do I want? I think I'm mostly just looking for bargains at this point. Um, I need a better on base game. So an infielder that can, like a middle infielder that's got good on base skills, might be attractive. But Jacques Leto might be my biggest swing. Um, Alejandro Aguilar for $1.6 million is such a remarkable offer that I will happily take it. Like, I'm not even going to hesitate because at bare minimum, he's a really good backup. I'll even give you a 3-year deal, bro. Hmm. Colton Hartman, his eternal quest to get separate from me. I do want to add another arm to the bullpen if I can find a good one, especially somebody that's fairly reliable. Yeah, Chris Perry wants to come back and try it again for 1.8 million. I'll happily sign that contract with him. But I'm not going to be the one to give you a $5 million deal. That's just not going to happen. My son, my pal. I can also get decent relievers through the Rule 5, so I'm not really willing to invest a ton of money in them. Um, who are some quality hitters that maybe just need an opportunity? I feel like I have to get Kurt Matthews a chance to earn first base and carry that forward. Who's my backup catcher? Am I well suited to have a? I have 3 high quality catchers. I have Rivero, Soto, and Suzuki. I have no need for catching. Um, it's old pal Chris Thomason. He has not fared well since leaving us. Look, just agree to play for us for free, and you'll have an amazing career. That's the secret. Chris Fournier, I don't know what it is that you offer, but I'm willing to pay you a small sum to find out. Damn, Vlad Guerrero Jr. has fallen quite a bit. I want to look at batting ratings. I want to look at I. I would really love to get a big on base dude to help out with this club. I'm not affording Corbin Carroll. That would be an amazing addition, but no. I like Dylan O'Ray a lot. He also costs me $0, so I'm happy to offer him an opportunity to make the club. Max Clark would be amazing, but I'm not going to take that big a risk on somebody with that kind of injury profile. I just think that's silly. I'll also offer Luis Delgado a contract. There you go. I think that's fine for now. I want to see if Chocolatto signs and if so, when he signs. But the fact willing to take a pretty substantial pay cut to be given an opportunity to be competitive, I think makes him a worthwhile risk. Especially for 3 years, especially when 2 of those years include team options. But I'm not getting caught in a bidding war. That is one thing I am not doing. Interesting, Colorado is offering him a contract. Interesting. Who are Hall of Famers this year? Who do we got? I'll vote for Willie Adames. I think he's already screwed. Henry Davis is nothing remarkable. I'll vote for Rafael Devers. Zach Gallen. George Kirby, Frankie Lindor, Manny Machado. I'm surprised Machado's lasted this long without getting elected. I truly am surprised. Okay, how the fuck does a guy with a negative WAR even make the ballot? Like, come on. Aaron Nola should definitely make it, but he's not going to make it. I'll vote for Jose Ramirez, Austin Briley, Adley Rutschman, Corey Seager. I feel pretty strongly that Juan Soto is going to make the Hall of Fame this year. I just have a feeling. Spencer Strider definitely deserves it, in my opinion. Fernando Tatis. Kyle Teal putting up that kind of WAR as a catcher is pretty amazing. I feel like Trey Turner needs the help more, but I'm this is strategic. I'm deliberately voting for no. I've got to dump somebody off my ballot. Like I think Willie Adamas is already a lost cause. I'm gonna go and remove him so that I can go ahead and vote for Teal instead. Submit ballot. Done. It's fascinating how many people are still offering him contracts, which is good. You want a little bit more money? Fine. I know I'm paying a lot for a bit of a risk, but I think the risk is worth it. Yeah, Jacques wants to come back for 20 million a year. Even if it is worth 3 or 4 WAR a year, 3 or 4 WAR a year, he is easily worth that amount of money. I'm just curious as to whether our long relationship is worth anything. He's saying I am the front runner. Okay. How much money are they offering you? For a slight raise like this, I'm willing to do that. I will up my offer one time, but that's it. If you're still like, no, I want $45 million a year, I'm gonna just tell you no. Because I just don't think it's worthwhile me getting into a bidding war. Yeah, LA, if you want Chocolate that badly, you can have him. I know he's gonna get his bag and Godspeed to him, but he's not gonna get it from me. I'd rather have the draft pick if he's gonna drag this out. Damn, the fans apparently like, holy shit, Alejandro Aguilera is the greatest player of all time. Okay. I don't know that I believe you, but okay. Yeah, he's bouncing around to different places. Get after it, bro. That's all I can say to you is get after it. Ernesto Rosales is way too good defensively to be let go. And I do want to give Dylan O'Ray a shot in spring training, but the rest of you guys, if you walk, you walk. Or if I lose you in the Rule 5, you have to lose you in the Rule 5. I don't really care. My scouting director, please and thank you. And I would like all players, and I like to look at their default ratings. It's just easier for me to quickly sort by who I think the most successful is likely to be. Juan Zatino. Okay. All right. I feel like Chris North has a decent chance of being a useful pitcher, and it's enough that I'm willing to carry him for spring training. Plus, he's super cheap. Yeah, we can give it a go. I'll do the same with Lazaro Carvajal, just because I think he's got some pretty high upside. Jared Russell got taken. These are guys I don't even know who they are, so that doesn't say much for your attention. Hmm. Any big batting eye guys that might just need an opportunity? Nick Kurtz is strictly a pinch hitter. I'd very strongly consider him. Andres Uribe, I think, is worth taking a flyer on. Oh, am I at the 40-man limit? Yeah, I am. Okay. Hey, Mike Taylor, you're gone. There we go. Let's quickly do a quick purge of the 40-man of players that just aren't very successful. Yeah, maybe I just leave it for now and let the chips fall where they may. Yeah, I think I'm done with the Rule 5. I think I've got what I wanted to. I got some interesting players that I can give some opportunities to in spring training. How long did that left fielder last? Andres Ramos, I would have taken the shit out of him if he had fallen to me. Oh well. Life happens. Okay, Hall of Fame voting results. Yeah, go away, Mike Taylor. Kirby, no. Not my Kirby. Someone else's Kirby. God damn it, Kurt. You dumb son of a bitch. Why do people keep going to this fucking guru? I swear. It's not like I did it on purpose. I get a second round pick, and the Dodgers basically paid 26 million for him. I am so eager to see how he performs in the National League, but I wasn't going to be able to afford him. So, best of luck to you, Andy. Um, we shall hope to endure without you. All right, I now have a lot of money to spend. Do we take a gamble on someone? I feel like if Mason Wynn is just the older, worse version of Giacoletto, I feel like that would be a pretty stupid decision. Eh, I'm just not into these guys. There's not really anything here that gets me excited or gets my motor running. So I think what I'm going to do, if I still can, is I'm going to increase my scouting budget up to the maximum. And then I think we just out. And then I think we just see what happens. Oh, can I max out player development too? It's already maxed out. I just like here's the thing. I'm not convinced that this is a guaranteed postseason roster, but there's enough depth here and enough talent and enough people that are just wanting an opportunity that I think we have to do it. I think we just have to let things progress this off season and then maybe make a move in season with this large sum of money. Is there anybody that is worth offering an extension to? I don't think so. There's not really anybody that looks me out as this player is so essential to our success that I'm willing to give him a long-term contract early in his career. The way that it was with Zapata, which was the easiest decision I've ever made in my entire life. So good. I'm gonna have to pay for Ernie Jarvis, so this savings may be temporary because he wants to get paid, and I don't blame him either. But that is going to be an interesting discussion to have. Probably the end of next episode because I don't want to fuck with it right now. You know what, Danny? Enjoy your time with them. Soto, Strider, Gallon, and Kirby all made it. Okay. Where's that one guy? Yeah, Teal got 25%. I'm a tiny bit down about losing Jacoletta. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. You would give me Edgar Moreno, who's a really good shortstop. I'm not going to lie on that front. I like Milanes. Myers and Ferrioli, I'm a little bit less concerned about. I just think I have a player like him already. He's coming off a pretty great year, though. That's true. But it's also by far the best year in his career, and it's not even particularly close. I don't want to give up Milanes. If I drop Milanes, what does that do for you? You fuckers really want Milanes that badly, huh? I'm not giving you a good prospect for him. I will reject your trade offer. Yeah, I don't like his makeup. Sorry, bro. Um, I think Rody Bomers is a pretty good choice here. Like, yes, both Herrera and Sotelo have big bats, but their contact is so low that it gives me deep concern. Plus, Bomers is also good, works hard, and I think would be at least to be an acceptable second baseman. So I think we go for Rody here. What if I offered you my cap? I know it's also I could sign him for less than the cap, but I don't like to dick around because then they just be like, I'm just gonna play for somebody else. Here we go, bro. Come join us. Nice. I'm sorry the fans are bummed about losing him, but like, let's be honest, he wasn't that great. I'm a tiny bit bummed about losing Jacques Little. I genuinely thought there was a chance, but I didn't want to get trapped in a bidding war that just bid him right back up to his old price. So I took a gamble that he would take less money to come back to Charlotte, and he just chose not to. So maybe it'll prove that I've dodged a bullet, but I hope not. But maybe I did. Maybe he's gonna blow his arm out in spring training, and we'll never see him again. I think Jacques Little would definitely get some attention on the Hall of Fame ballot, but I don't think he has any chance in hell of making it without a long career. Edgar Velasco is going to retire, so he wants to become a missionary. Okay. I had such high hopes for Velasco when we acquired him, and then he just never did anything of note. It be like that sometimes. Chris Perry, you can. There's gonna be a lot of jobs to earn here, so you're all gonna get some spring training time. Osby, Castillo, Mitch Couples, John Tata, Brennis, Kimmins, Toure, Diouf, Fox, Mike Mitchell. It seems like 57 players is a pretty good amount of people to have in camp. So go ahead and do your thing, game. And then go ahead and pick your pitching staff. Hmm. I guess he's not that bad a pitcher either. That's not why I signed him. I signed him because he's got a pretty decent bat and plays um third base pretty well. At very least he's a backup, but I think he might be more than that. But that's interesting. Okay. Let's play through the end of spring training, shall we? Um, nice, very nice. That's nice. Good, good, good. You love to see it. Like, we're not a one-player team, but if Zapata can't get back to his previous level, I still think we're a postseason team, but I don't know what our upside looks like. Like, I don't know where that takes us from there. Varner got worse. Tata got a little bit better. Choke got worse. Carrillo got better. Jordan got better. Bennett got better. David Gaona got better, which is amazing. Sergio Bello got better. That's decent. I guess it would be Bayo, technically. I don't know how he pronounces his last name. I mean, sucks to be you, my dude. But like, I'm not gonna put you on the roster anyway, so just go to AAA, please. Like, your chances of making the roster are pretty damn slim. Like, I'm just gonna be realistic with you. It wasn't really, probably wasn't gonna happen anyway. Watch, fucking Jacques Little has like an MVP caliber season, and I just look silly for letting him go. Wouldn't be the first time. Alright. I have 56 players. I do not need that many. I would like to have 12 to 13 pitchers. Alright, Castillo, minors. Easy pick. Minors, minors, minors. 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 Return to club. You get to make the team, so congratulations, Chris Perry. You're in. Chota's never pitched in AAA. I think letting him pitch in AAA would be pretty useful for his career. Carvajal can disappear. Where am I at now? I'm at 17 pitchers. 4 more gotta go, basically. I will let Hartman make the team. Thompson does not. Um, Varner goes on the IL. And then of Cooksey, Coronado, and Archuleta. Archuleta's still has a little bit of room to grow. We're at 14, but two of them, one of them is Hackett, and one of them is Coronado. So in reality, I actually have 12 dedicated pitchers, and I think that's good. All right, position players. Kimmins can go. I feel like Soto's just better than Suzuki. So I think Suzuki. Suzuki's got the leadership. I think Soto can go to the minors to start the season. Why is Gunnar Henderson playing first base instead of third? Wait, is he actually a better third baseman than? Holy shit, he is better. He's better by a lot. Never mind then. Because you're everybody starting third baseman, however, I would like you to stop pitching. I don't want you to pitch anymore. I don't want Hackett to pitch either, to be honest with you, but we'll cross that bridge in a minute. Um, Delgado goes back to the minors. Couples to the minors. LaCourcier to the minors. Salazar to the minors. Jordan to the minors. I like Dylan O'Ray a lot. He's actually going to be given every chance to possibly make the opening day roster. So I'm sending Ormerod. Look, Rosales is a pretty damn good shortstop. So the reason to keep Trotman on the roster is because we think he's going to hit. Dorsey to the minors. Alvaro Ortega to the minor leagues. Brennis to the minors. Jure to the minors. Mitchell to the minors. Fournier to the minors. Christinel to the minors. Gotta go to 3 more players, and one of them can be an outfielder, but the other 2 have to be infielders. I think Walensky to the minors is pretty sensible. Hmm. Hmm. I feel like I shouldn't have 3 first basemen. That seems excessive. I don't want to lose Andres Uribe because I actually do kind of want to see how he turns out. I'm going to go send Luca the Lemon back to the minors for the 10th year in a row. I feel like keeping Trotman, so like sending Trotman down so I keep 3 first basemen is just so silly. But I also don't really have another choice, I don't think. Other than just trading Curtis Matthews. Or Kurt Matthews, rather. I think Kurt Matthews could be a star. But I just don't think he's going to get there with me. The thing is, I don't want Trotman playing third. I don't want Trotman playing shortstop because his error is way too error prone. Like Dylan O'Ray, yeah, I think I don't need Trotman. Trotman can go to the minors. That's what we'll settle on. I am completely comfortable with Ernesto Rosales being my starting shortstop. I know he doesn't have nearly the offensive capabilities that Jacques Alito did. I'm just looking for league average offense with a top tier glove. Um, I'm kind of surprised O'Ray isn't getting more consideration to start at second base, but I guess I really want Dusty Hackett to start there, which I'm willing to let him do because he's an incredible defender. Um, yeah. David Gaona is now the number 7 prospect in the league. He's our only top 100 prospect, which doesn't say much for our player development practices. Hmm. All right. So what do you think is going to happen this year with this new lineup, the new team? I don't know. I genuinely do not know the answer to that question. It's going to be fascinating because we went from one of the very best shortstops in Major League Baseball to one of the worst. Not one of the worst. That's not fair to our pal Ernesto. To one of the most raw, I think is maybe a better description of that term. Rosales' glove will certainly play at the major league level. The question is and always will be, will his bat actually materialize? We're talking about somebody who has a pretty limited offensive skill set to begin with. So he's almost certainly not a long-term answer at shortstop, but he's at least an answer at shortstop for the short term, and we can figure things out here. Alejandro Aguilera, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I signed literally because he was cheap. But to see the actual talent level that he actually has, and his incredible defense at third base, despite a somewhat limited range, I think he's going to be a genuine asset to this club for the 3 years that we have him. That also lets Gunnar Henderson shift over to first base. Maybe that'll help keep him a little bit healthier. And producing at an even higher level offensively, because we're going to need him to carry a lot more of the load than I would normally have expected. I wish Mike Bush wasn't our leadoff guy. I think he's too limited for that. But I also don't have a better option, so we're just gonna ride with the person that brung us. I need Zapata to be transcendent for us to be one of the best teams in the league. He can definitely do it. And I'm wondering if having a more consistent lineup behind him and ahead of him is going to help with that. Kellen Bulkley is on thin ice. He had a pretty big rookie year, and then he massively stepped back. Now, I know that we didn't have Chocolatito last year, and Zapata wasn't his very best. Maybe that trickled down a little bit, but I'd like to see Bulkley take it up a notch. Aguilar is such a deeply, deeply weird player that teams would just not play him. We'll see if that's going to be our big game this year. Alejandro Rivera was so bloody good last year. He's going to cost you so much money in arbitration, but he might very well be worth it. Dusty Hackett's road to the major leagues has been such a wild ride. I think he's got a chance. It's not a great chance, but he does have a chance to show that he can stick in the major leagues. Neither one of them are both on together that is not up to Jacques Leto. And I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open for a truly dynamic young middle infielder. But I'm comfortable with Hackett and Rosales starting. If all we cared about was offense, I would happily start O'Ray over Hackett. His elite on base skills make him a pretty useful asset, but I would just settle for his veteran leadership and handling things going forward. I think the most damning thing about this team is that I don't have high level rookies that are anywhere near the major leagues. I just don't. Except like relievers and things of that nature. So, um, this is going to be an interesting season. It's going to be a very interesting season. Um, because the stars don't shine as bright as they used to. And we're going to struggle to have the raw depth that I think we need to be a really successful franchise this year. Ernie Jarvis ain't getting any cheaper. Ernie Jarvis could very well break the bank when he becomes when he goes for his next contract. And it's just one of those things, like, I don't know whether I can afford to keep him or whether I can afford not to keep him. He is a pretty durable, big time postseason guy who's given us 30 plus starts all but 2 years of his career. He's also 30. That cannot be ignored. I feel like this is going to be a bit of a down year for us. I still think we can make the postseason. It's almost laughably easy for us to make the postseason just because of both how good we are and where we are in terms of the rest of our division. But I could really use another Giacoletto. Really use another Giacoletto. It's almost one of the most my high ranking prospects are all relievers. Although Casey Choke can and should be more, he's got to do something this year. He's got to break through. He's got to be a guy that you can either trust on the bullpen every other day or in the mound every 5 days. I need him to work out for us to have a really high future. Mitch Couples still has a chance to be a major league caliber player, but he's also got to really push the envelope a bit. Hartman and Lesko are going to be limited, so we're going to have to hope the rest of the bullpen can pick up the slack. I cannot get suckered into paying a lot of money to Josh Batty. I think Josh Batty is perfectly fine where he is. But that's all he is. He's just perfectly fine. I don't like trying to force Melanius into being a starter, but at least last year in his limited starting time was actually pretty effective. So I'm willing to let him see if he can keep that up. But I do concern myself badly with his lack of a third pitch. We'll see what happens, friends. We'll see what happens. I think this team could be. It's going to depend on Zapata, but it's also going to depend on Aguilera. Well, I can't replace Giacoletto's complete package. Aguilera plus Rosales might be close. Because really, who's Aguilera replacing is replacing Brad West and Kurt Matthews. Because Henderson shifts over to first base. If I can get 150 games out of Henderson at the level he's produced the last few seasons, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Will playing first base make a difference as far as his overall thing? Maybe. I am curious at this point. If he goes into the Hall of Fame, there's a good chance that he does. Does he go in as a Charlotte Silverwolf? Because he's actually played more for me than he has for Baltimore. That's a fascinating question that I don't know the answer to, but I'm excited to see where he comes out. And I do want, and let me stress this pretty severely, I do want Giacoletto to do well. Even if he's not playing for me. So we'll definitely keep our eyes on that and see how he does in his new club. That's it for us this episode, though. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you are, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about how things are going. And share any predictions you might have. Do we think Giacoletto is going to turn out to still be perfectly fine? Or are his days numbered? Thank you for watching as always. And until next time, this has been Guardian, and I bid you good day.